And we're live. There it is. That light goes out sometimes and then it remembers it has a job to do.
So although it is 7 o'clock, we have one more member who is on the way. Should be here in about a minute, so we will wait to begin until Tom Zarecki, our fellow board member, arrives. He's probably got a trout on the hook somewhere.
Somebody's driving in. Excuse me.
Sorry to bug you while you're driving.
Oh, it's okay.
How's it going, Tom?
Hey, I'm just been a little under the weather, so I don't want to spread any germs unnecessarily.
Well, thank you.
Thank you.
You just stay over there.
Yeah, there's some nasty stuff going around right now. Welcome all to the January 7th especially called and scheduled Zoning Board of Appeals meeting. Usually we meet later in the month, but our applicant had hoped that we could scooch things along so that they could align some of the things they were doing with the planning board meeting, which is next week. Will you all please stand and join me for the Pledge of Allegiance?
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We have one item on our agenda for this evening, and it's the Henshin Dairy project. We have Jocelyn Young here today, standing in for Kelly Leibold. Jocelyn, yes, I welcome you to the podium.
Hi.
Most of us have heard about the project, but Tom, I don't know if you were with us. Okay, that's right. If you could give us a quick little refresher, that'd be great.
So this project, sorry, I wasn't expecting to do a little presentation,
Oh, I'm sorry.
not a problem. So we're requesting two variances for an existing barn structure building at the Henshin Dairy site. One is for open space and the other is for the frontage. The frontage, obviously it's an existing building, so we're requesting relief from that section of the code. And then the open space is 25% requirement, right? And we're requesting 0% to be conditioned because just for this project itself.
All right, great. I think that kind of sums
Sorry,
up.
I'm not as familiar as the project
No,
with
it's
Kelly.
okay.
So
I'm sorry, I
That's
got
Kelly.
called you kind of on the spot there. We usually get a few words
Yeah.
from the applicant just
Okay.
to refresh people, but thank you very much.
Yeah, of course.
All right, so before we move forward, we have to do a seeker determination.
That's correct.
I just want to mention that Dutchess County Department of Planning and Development did file a form with us, the 239 Planning Zone Deferral, and they have responded that this is a matter of local concern, and they have no interest in having any ruling on this. So as a local board, we're going to move forward with discussing it and taking it from there. Where is my seeker form? Hold on a minute. Get my papers in order.
Yeah, it's just
Here.
very little, yep.
Now, we're just going to read through the part two here, Karen. Is that-
Yeah, I can take us through the docs if that would be helpful.
Oh, you want to take? Sure.
Okay. So we did a seeker review for the entire project, and so I don't know if the board has had an opportunity to review the forms. There's part 2, which is an impact assessment, and then there's a part 3, which is the determination of significance, and we give a little bit of information as to how we came to the determination. And this is, of course, for your review and consideration and determination. So I'll run through the part 2 questions. There's 11 of them, and you can answer no or small impact may occur, or you can answer moderate to large impact may occur. I've suggested some answers, but you can make your own decisions. So number 1, will the proposed action create a material conflict with an adopted land use plan or zoning regulations? No or small impact may occur, or moderate to large impact may occur. Do you agree with my assessment that it's a no or small impact?
I agree with your assessment that it's no or small.
Okay. Yep.
I
Good?
agree.
Okay. 2, will the proposed action result in a change in the use or intensity of the use of land? I said no or small impact may occur.
I agree, Karen.
I agree.
Will the proposed action impair the character or quality of the existing community? I said no or small impact may occur.
I'm in agreement with that.
Number 4, will the proposed action have an impact on the environmental characteristics that cause the establishment of a critical environmental area? I said no, but in fact, this is not applicable because the site is not in a critical environmental area.
I'm in agreement there.
Okay. Number 5, will the proposed action result in an adverse change in the existing level of traffic or affect existing infrastructure for mass transit, biking, or walkway? I suggest no or small impact may occur.
I agree.
Will the proposed action cause an increase in the use of energy and it fails to incorporate reasonably available energy conservation or renewable energy opportunities? I suggest no or small impact.
I agree.
I agree.
Will the proposed action impact existing A, public and private water supplies, or B, public and private wastewater treatment utilities? And I suggest it's no or small impact.
Agreed.
Number 8, will the proposed action impair the character or quality of important historic, archaeological, architectural, or aesthetic resources? I suggest no or small impact may occur.
Agreed.
9, will the proposed action result in an adverse change to natural resources, as in wetlands, water bodies, groundwater, air quality, flora, or fauna? I suggest no or small impact will occur.
Agreed.
10, will the proposed action result in an increase in the potential for erosion, flooding, or drainage problems? I suggest no or small impact may occur.
Agreed.
And finally, will the proposed action create a hazard to environmental resources or human health? And I suggest no or small impact may occur.
Agreed.
Okay, so now we're on to the Part 3 form, which is the determination of significance. So I've just written a little bit more information here based off of the Part 1 form that was supplied to us by the applicant about the project and based on information that's come out through the various Planning Board and Zoning Board of Appeals meetings. So the Eastern Hay Corporation operates a commercial retail operation which sells hay and animal feed products, as in hay, bedding, grain, Purina feed nationwide. The operation includes the use of a two-story, approximately 12,253 square foot barn building for warehousing and office use and storage of various sized bales and bagged flake shavings. A commercial retail use is permitted by special permit in the B2 zoning district, and the site is in the B2 zoning district. The applicant is seeking retroactive site plan and special permit approval from the planning board for the existing operation, inclusive of all existing improvements on site. No change in operation or new construction is proposed on site. Accordingly, the applicant is seeking the following area variances. 198-76, section D, subsection 8, for required 80% frontage build-out. The applicant proposes 20.01%. And 98-76, section C, subsection 1, for minimum 25% required open space, applicant proposes 0%. At the time that the building was constructed, the structure was an agricultural building, and the project did not require a building permit nor site plan approval. We have on file the Village of Paulding Building Inspector letter dated July 23, 2008, acknowledging this. The use of the building is no longer classified as an agricultural building. Therefore, the applicant seeks to bring the site into conformance under the current code. Note that the site does comply with zoning controls for building and lot coverage and floor area ratio, which assist in preserving open space on the property. Additionally, the build-out is consistent with the historic use of the property as an agricultural use. Based on this information, and with conditions applied, which we'll go through when we read the resolution, the proposed action will not result in significant adverse impacts to the environment.
Okay.
So following that review, thank you, Karen, we've prepared a seeker negative declaration and a notice of determination of non-significance. And rather than go through that verbatim, we'll state that that document will become part of the public record as drafted if the board so chooses to move forward with adopting it as drafted. So you can entertain that motion at this time if you think that you're ready to do so, or if you have any other questions about the seeker review, now's the time to discuss.
I'd like to make a motion that we adopt your draft document about accepting our seeker negative determination.
I'll second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay. So we have made a negative seeker determination. I guess we should all sign this form.
I think you just have to sign it, but you're gonna have to sign the updated version because there's a typo.
That's right.
Sorry.
Yes.
Unless you initial typos.
I guess I could.
No, I'm kidding.
We
Okay.
actually have it down for, Amanda will put the vote in for the members, and then we have Amanda signing it for the neg deck.
Oh, signing the neg deck
Neg deck,
resolution, but he was talking about the form.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's okay.
That's up to you. This one is from my notes.
Jocelyn, did you have something else that you needed to say?
Oh, no.
Oh,
Do you
have
want
you
me
been
to-
standing there the whole time?
Yeah, it's fine.
Oh.
Okay.
Seat.
I'm
If we have
new
any
to
questions,
this.
we'll ask you. It's not
Sorry.
that formal here. It's fine. I'm so sorry. I'm so busy looking at papers. So, all right, so let's discuss variance 1 that's being asked for, which is the required 80% frontage build out, which is technically required in the B2 zone. We'll go through the 5 conditions, and then the board can discuss what our feelings are about that particular variance, and we can take a vote on it. If this variance is granted, would there be an undesirable change to the current property? I don't think that there would be, considering the structure and the land use has been in this present state since about 2008.
You're also looking at the character of the neighborhood and the other
Yes.
properties right there as
Exactly.
well.
Exactly. I think that it actually fits in its current use to the surrounding properties, which are mostly residential and don't have a build-out of 80% frontage. Second condition we have to weigh is, can this benefit be obtained by an alternative method. I think the only benefit, the only way to obtain this would be to build out, but again, building out that particular property to meet these demands would seem to make this not really fit in with the neighborhood. Any comments from the other board members? No? Okay,
I'll just add a couple things.
please do.
So to build out that frontage on Route 22, there's actually like a bit of a berm there. So it would involve some excavation, some change
Excavation,
in
drainage.
natural grading,
Yeah.
you know, that sort of stuff. So it's not without impacts of its own that would need to be considered.
Exactly. Those are very good points, Karen, thank you. Will this variance for the frontage, if granted, will it have an adverse effect on the area? I don't believe that granting this variance would have an adverse effect. I think that the current space fits in very nicely with the surrounding areas. Board members, any comments?
I agree.
Yeah, okay. Is the self-created, this particular hardship for the frontage? I don't believe it really should be considered self-created. This land use and the structures on it was done back in 2008, back when this was considered an agricultural space. Since they have been declassified as agricultural, after the building was put in, I don't think that it is self-created simply because it's now falling under another category. Board members, any thoughts? Okay. I would like to make a motion to,
Nicholas, I think there's one more
Oh, is
factor
there one more condition I
regarding
missed?
being numerically substantial,
oh, okay,
right, the variance.
that's right, I forgot this one.
May
Sorry.
be considered
Oh,
numerically
substantiality,
substantial.
yes, yes.
Exactly.
Is this particular variance substantial? And in fact, required in the B2 zone is 80%. They're proposing 20%. Technically, that is somewhat substantial in my mind, but in weighing these out, it isn't a situation where all five have to be positive outcome or have to be seen positively by the board. It's basically weighing them all out against each other. And although it is substantial, I think that it is something that we could overlook in this particular case. Board members, any thoughts or comments about that?
I agree.
Okay. Daniel, thank you for keeping me honest about meeting that sixth criteria.
Fifth, Nicholas.
Fifth?
Fifth, there's only five afterwards.
Oh, okay, somehow I've got five already, but I guess, all right, I'm gonna have to check my notes.
Can't read your writing from here.
I'll write a prescription if you like.
Okay.
Oh, you had it, you skipped over it, yep,
I did.
yeah.
All right.
See, you're so good, you
That
just,
I was ahead of myself.
yeah.
I'm so good, I made a mistake, but it was a good one. Okay, I'd like to make a motion in this particular case that the Zoning Board of Appeals grant the variance for this applicant, allowing them to have 20.01% frontage rather than the required 80% frontage. Do I have a second? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, all right. Variance number one has been granted to the applicant. Okay, the next variance is for minimum required open space. In this case, in the B2 zone, the applicant is required to have a minimum of 25% of open space. They are proposing 0%. There are these five conditions, which we'll go over now, talk about them. Will there be an undesirable change if the board grants this particular variance for 0%? Now, the applicant in this particular case has expressed that this particular variance is, if granted, is temporary in nature. And they are proposing that we allow them this variance so that they avoid being in non-compliance and being fined and otherwise pursued by the village for having a structure that doesn't meet the proper requirements. That being said, the fact that they will not be changing anything at all to this property, I believe that there is no undesirable change. The current structures and land have been this way since around 2008. Any comments from the rest of the board? Okay. Can the benefit be obtained by an alternate method? I'm not quite sure the answer to this one. I had asked them at one point if we could get even an estimate of the current open space requirement. It seemed that there were some challenges to that logistically. But again, since this is going to be, the nature of this is going to be a temporary variance, I don't think that that's a big concern, and I'm not really even sure what alternate method there might be. Danielle, Tom, do you see any alternative method that might be possible?
Not in this case.
Okay. Third criteria, is this variance substantial? The applicant actually has expressed an opinion that it is not substantial. Honestly, I feel that this is a very substantial ask. To go from a 25% requirement and to request a 0%, I think that that's very substantial. Honestly, if this was anything more than a temporary variance, I would be prone to not approve such a substantial request. But knowing that this is temporary only and that any changes to the current structure, any changes to the current use, any changes to the land around it in the way of driveways, gravel, pavement, anything aside from maintenance of the buildings would trigger a review and a revocation of this variance. Even though it is a large amount, I am comfortable with this myself because it is simply temporary and it is preserving the status quo in its current form. That was a lot of words, sorry about that. Danielle, you have any thoughts?
No.
Tom?
No, I agree.
Okay. Will granting this variance have any adverse effects on the area? Again, it's temporary and the applicant proposes to make no changes whatsoever except to take care of regular maintenance on this property. So I don't think that a granting of this variance would have any negative effects on the area. Danielle, any thoughts?
Agreed.
All right.
Bless you.
Okay, thank you.
Is this self-created? Once again, this building was put there and the use was established back when this was considered an agricultural location. That characterization has changed since then. So I don't believe it was self-created. I believe that this happened because of the reclassification of the property. Any comments, Tom? Or
No, I think you're covering it well.
I'm trying. Thank you. All right. Karen, have I missed anything in those that you think I should bring up?
I think you're good.
All right.
I would say to you that if the board is desiring to put conditions on either one or both of these variances, that also should be, and will be covered in the resolution as drafted. So
Okay.
that's something to consider and discuss if
Right.
that's
And
what
you
you're
have
looking to do.
Drafted them.
We've drafted
We've drafted
them,
some
and we are going to put
suggestions.
forth, even though we went through all those factors, I suggest that we read through some of the
Got it.
resolution. That's also going to be part of the public record
Right.
tonight, but you may want to discuss if there's any conditions
Right.
that you're thinking of once the variances are, or the
Okay.
variance is approved.
All right. So once again, I just want to say too that we're considering this variance based on the fact that the applicant has assured us that there will be no changes to the structure or the surrounding grounds. Again, routine maintenance, minor landscaping, painting the place would not trigger, but any changes in the structure or the landscaping beyond minor landscape changes would automatically trigger a revocation of this particular variance, and you would have to come before the board once again. All right, so I'm going to read some language from the draft resolution into the
So
record.
did you want to, as you did with the other variance, take a make a motion for
Oh, yes.
variance 2 and then re-encapsulate everything afterwards? Or did you want to go through this and then make that motion? It's entirely up to you.
I think it might make at least sense to me to read through the draft language so that the board is really familiar with some of the conditions before we actually do the vote. Does
That's
that make
fine.
sense? I mean, if it's out of order, let me know, but that's
fine.
kind of how I was thinking about it.
Yeah, just so you guys know, the conditions are at the very end. Just so you know. To win, you gotta really listen hard.
Okay. So this is from our draft resolution that we are proposing. Whereas the applicant Henshin Dairy Incorporated has submitted an application for area variances to legalize an existing barn at the property located at 112 East Main Street,
Should be Pauling.
Pauling, New York. Yes, there's a typo. The property is identified as tax parcel number, and it's a long one, so I'm not going in. There's 3 parcels. One thing I also want to mention on the record is that the variances for this particular applicant is based on the 3 lots. So another thing that would trigger an immediate revocation would be any sale of any of these 3 lots to another owner. This is considered, although it's 3 lots, as one use space. And so that would also be a trigger, not just changing the structure or the landscaping area. All right, whereas the applicant seeks an area variance from zoning law section 98-76C1, specifically from the minimum frontage build-out for type 4 highway commercial on Schedule B to allow a frontage build-out of 20.1% where 80% is required. That's our variance 1. And whereas the applicant seeks a temporary area variance from zoning law section 98-76D8 to allow minimum open space of 0% where 25% minimum open space is required. That is the variance number 2. So we're going to vote on this, but
You just reiterate those factors again for each variance.
Are they in the draft?
They're in the draft.
I think she wants you to read the whereas clauses, right?
Yes, we read the whereas clauses in introducing it, and then you can say that there are subsequent whereas clauses that are also made part of the public record, but you don't need to go through every one verbatim because we've set forth that if you approve this as drafted, just like the neg deck, this will become part of the public record. So you can skip to the now therefore be it resolved.
Got it.
Because there's lots to read after that as well.
Yeah, okay. Now therefore be it resolved that the Zoning Board of Appeals makes the following findings in accordance with section 7-12B of the village law regarding the requested variance. The requested variances will not produce an undesirable change in the character of the neighborhood or detriment to nearby properties. The variance will not result in any change to the existing condition of the subject property. There are no proposed improvements or modifications on the site as such. The neighborhood and the community will remain unaffected by a grant of this requested variance. Variance number 2. Oh, that was for variance number 1, the first thing I read there. Variance number 2, the variance will not result in any change to the existing conditions of the subject property, nor will it affect the appearance, use, or character of the neighborhood. There is no proposed construction, expansion, modification, or change in the configuration of the site. Additionally, the applicant has requested that this variance be temporary in nature. Should they seek to alter the existing conditions of the property, there will be a new review and consideration of the dedicated open space requirements. The benefit sought by the applicant cannot be achieved by some method feasible for the applicant to pursue other than the area variances. For variance number 1, the location of the structures on the site is pre-existing and are not proposed to be altered. It would be infeasible to require the applicant to undertake construction to come into compliance with the 80% frontage build-out as required by the code. Therefore, the area variance is the only method by which the property may be legalized. For variance 2, because the barn structure is no longer considered an agricultural building for which the site plan approval is not required, the site now requires area variances to legalize conditions on the site which have existed for almost 2 decades. No feasible alternative exists to bring the site into compliance with the zoning code. The variance to allow 0% dedicated open space is temporary in nature and is intended to be a placeholder until and unless they pursue further development. The requested variances may be considered numerically substantial. Variance number 1, the requested variance from zoning law section 19-2.3 to
That's going to be
That's
amended.
98-76. Is that variance 1 for the
Variance
build-out?
one.
Yes.
So that's D, 9876 D8.
Thank you, that's right, we did have that. My apologies. So the requested variances may be considered numerically substantial. For variance number 1, the requested area variance from zoning law section 98-76D8. Allow a frontage build-out of 20.1% where 80% is required.
Oh, I'm
I
sorry.
think, I was
That
going
should
to
have
say,
been
it's,
C1 instead of D8. I'm sorry.
That's okay. We will revise that to C1 rather than D8. This will all be fixed on the final paperwork. It would allow a frontage build-out of 20.01% where 80% is required. This request is numerically substantial, but is reasonable given the nature of the current use of the property. Variance number 2, the requested variance from zoning law section
and
9,
that will be the 98.
this is also 98.
76 D8.
D8, thank you. The requested variance from zoning law section 98-76D8 would allow a minimum open space of 0% where 25% open space is required. This is numerically substantial, but is reasonable given the temporary nature of this request. And for me, again, that is key, is that this is temporary. Should the applicant seek to modify the existing site plan in a way that would not conform with the open space requirement in the future, it must return to the Zoning Board of Appeals for further consideration. Number 4, the requested variances will not have an adverse effect or impact on the physical or environmental conditions in the general neighborhood or district. For variance 1, the requested variance will allow the existing structures on the property to remain in their existing locations and as such will not have an adverse impact on the general area or district. No new construction, grading, utilities, lighting, traffic, or stormwater changes are proposed. For variance number 2, for the same reasons already stated above, there is no public, environmental, or visual impacts, nor a change in the community character anticipated to result from this requested variance. Condition 5, the difficulties are self-created. Variance number 1, the applicant developed the facilities on the property while subject to the current zoning code. However, at the time the structures on the property were constructed, the barn structure was deemed an agricultural building and did not require a building permit or site plan approval. The applicant now seeks to bring the existing legally non-conforming parcel into compliance because the building is no longer classified as an agricultural building. For variance number 2, for the same reasons stated above, to the extent that the difficulties may be considered self-created, the requested variance is reasonable and necessary to legalize the existing condition of the property. Okay. Okay. I'm going to call for a vote on this shortly, but I want to say that the Zoning Board of Appeals, if this is granted, it would be granted subject to the following conditions based on the vote that we will be holding in a few moments. Condition number 1, that payment of all fees and escrow are in order. And for variance number 2, shall apply only to the existing as-built condition of the property as shown on the current plan submitted to the zoning board. Any future expansion, alteration, or change of the existing structures or use of the property as depicted on the plan will nullify completely variance number 2 and will require an appropriate review of and approvals. Did I say that right? I just want to make sure I didn't
Yes.
leave anything out. Okay. Okay. One of the things I might like to get as well, just to have in the folder, is an aerial view I know we have a site plan, but I'd like to have an aerial view submitted to this board at some point of the state of the current property. That way, it's also part of the record along with the site plan. We can compare the two, make sure that they're all in alignment, and have them both as a record of the state of the property as
And
of.
would the aerial view coming off of something like parcel access be sufficient for the board? Is that what you're thinking of?
Yeah, it doesn't
with
have to
that
be a
request?
drone that they hire and fly over there, but.
Well,
What do you think?
I just want to remark that
Sure.
aerial imagery is often post-dated. So like, you know, the most accurate documentation is the as-built survey that was submitted as part of this application.
Got it.
I feel the aerial imagery may
Does not
have,
be-
yeah, there may
it-
be
it may not be
discrepancies
accurate.
and,
Got it.
sorry.
I will take your advice on that. No, that's why you're here. If I start to go down a road that I shouldn't be going, I want you guys to corral me. So, all right. All right, so then that leaves it up to the board to vote on variance number 2 based on the resolutions that I've just read and the conditions. Can I have a motion to vote on, actually, we've already voted on
We
variance.
voted on variance number 1. However, I do think that you would need to vote on, subject to the condition of payment of all
Yes, you're right.
escrows and fees,
Okay.
because that relates to both variances.
You're right, you're absolutely right. That should have been considered. All right, so can I have a motion to approve variance number 1 based on the conditions of paying all escrows and fees and the as-built condition of the property as shown in the current plan? I have a motion to approve that.
I motion.
Second?
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, okay. And can I have a motion to approve for the applicant variance number 2, having to do with the open space requirements?
So moved.
A second.
All right. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Subject to the conditions?
Yes,
You want to
please,
include
subject
that
to the
in the
conditions
motion?
of payment of all fees and escrow, and that it is an as-built condition.
Right. And specifically, I would just read that condition into
Okay.
the record on the last page of
Okay.
the resolution.
Okay, so the condition for variance 2 is payment of all fees and escrow, and that this variance shall apply only to the existing as-built condition of the property as shown in the plan. Any future expansion, alteration, or change of the existing structure or use of the property as depicted on the plan will nullify variance number 2 and will require all appropriate review and approvals. All right,
Motion?
so,
I'll make a motion.
A second.
all right, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
And then I would just say, just for clarity of the record, that you should vote on the actual resolution as amended to update those, really just the technical clerical updates, the code sections.
Yeah, I'll make a motion that we accept the draft resolution with the proposed changes because we have some numerical discrepancies with the law numbers and paragraphs.
Second.
All right,
I'll
all in
motion.
favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay, so we will accept the resolution minus those few changes that are going to be coming through. All right, you guys, I'm sorry, I kind of went in a roundabout way on some of these things, but I think we kind of covered it. Danielle, anything else that we should cover here that I didn't mention?
No, we approved both of the variances.
Yes, we
So
did.
congratulations to the applicant as with the conditions set forth by the board.
Yes. All right, Karen, anything else that I didn't cover that we should cover? Okay. You guys, thanks again for keeping me on track. All right. Ken, Jocelyn, congratulations. You are now in compliance. But don't change anything.
Say, that's a new experience for me. Thank you. It was a lot of hard work to get here, and I appreciate what you guys did in terms of engaging in that work. Thank you.
Thank you.
You're very welcome. All right, we're not going to cover the minutes for today from last meeting. We're going to do the minutes at the regular January meeting, which is going to be in a few weeks anyhow.
Do we have something on the agenda?
Oh, I don't know, do we?
We're anticipating, well, wait, when was that day? Hold on, we know.
If not, we can do it in February.
Okay. We can, you read them?
You know, I went over them quickly just to remind myself of all the discussions and points. but honestly, I didn't read them with a fine tooth comb.
The applications are due the 14th.
Oh, okay.
I have had some questions.
Some inquiries?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, so let's leave the approval of the minutes from our November meeting until our next meeting. Gives us a little more time to read through them. So, okay. Can I have a motion to adjourn tonight's meeting, because there's no other business?
No motion.
Can I have a second?
I second.
All in favor of adjourning tonight's meeting, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All right, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Good evening.
Have a good